Okay. Refund. There you go. Yeah, he does have it. Yeah, he does Forest, but like, he usually would stream around this time, anyways. Kelp just went live as well. 317 people? I didn't even see that. I apologize if it's I apologize if it's a bit laggy. My internet is like taking a crap right now, so it has been all day. So I might not get good feed, but everything should be alright. I'm like so excited here. Because this could be huge. Still don't know what Weatherton said. Beck said he wasn't gonna be able to watch it on his anniversary ever. But like oh my god, is there gonna be like Mr. Pretty, what the heck is that? Alright, shortly. So, I don't know, 30 seconds till 8? Because it's 10:59 right now. Okay, I'm on the character selection screen, because who knows what character I'll have to pick. I look like the, right there. I look like the guy in the meme, like, I offer you DK. It's always, yeah, Forrest, you're right. It is always DK. Oh, here we go. Ah, an ad. Oh, it is Magic Koopa. You're right. Grammarly. Yes. Okay, let's see how long this will be until. Oh, here we go. Way too loud for me. Here you go. I think this is going to be a good volume. We'll see though. I'll turn it down if I need to. It goes so hard that, yeah, you mean you can't get copyright claimed. Oh, it's quiet? Okay, well, I'll fix that then. There you go. Should be good now. Alright, here we go. I am like so excited here. Here we go. Alright, let's see.
Mario Kart 64 is a special game. For some reason, it's full of obscure glitches that happen once in a blue moon and that no one can explain. On February 7th, 1999, Greg Inatenko was playing Royal Raceway.
Okay, I can see this coming.
He was on an amazing run, close to world record pace, when as he finished the race, his third lap was saved as 0.00
Whoa!
seconds.
Hold on, so I'm not Royal Raceway.
Today, this 23-year-old mystery finally has an explanation. But the discovery that shed light on this freak occurrence is much bigger than that.
Wait! Oh my god! Is that MMFSC? No way! I don't think it will be. I don't see why. 1606! Moo farm shortcut! Moo farm shortcut! Oh my god! Moo farm shortcuts! Wait, are we getting a Moo farm shortcut?
Back in 1999, video recordings of video game achievements were exceedingly rare.
Oh my god.
At the time, Greg Inatenko was not recording his gameplay. By his own description, however, he finished the race as the Peach staff was finishing her second lap.
Oh my god.
He noticed that the race time kept going during the post-race cutscene, at the end of which it finally stopped, and his third lap was 0.0.
Oh my god, dude. Moo farm shortcut.
Every time he would play the race, his lap times would flash as if he had a new fastest lap, but the lap record would always remain 0.0 seconds.
Oh my god.
For 15 years, it was generally thought that Peach crossing the line on the same frame might have something to do with it, as there were no other possible explanations that made any sense. But in 2014, Weatherton was testing this theory, and he did not come to a conclusive result. In 2015, Abney managed to force the glitch to occur again using hacks by preventing his character from going into autopilot mode after finishing the race.
Yeah, I get it.
It wasn't until late 2021 that
Forrest.
the mystery was finally solved by
Oh boy.
Forrest 64. The key insight needed to understand why this glitch happened is that this shortcut strategy ends the race with Lakitu dropping the cart on the finish line facing slightly backwards. To understand why this caused a timer glitch, we need to talk about Mario Kart 64's frame rate.
I think we gotta move
Despite
farm
having a
shortcut,
visual
dude.
frame rate of 30 frames per
No
second,
way.
Mario Kart 64 actually performs a physics update 60 times per second.
Yeah, I can
In
turn
other
blind.
words, for every visual update on the screen, there's one hidden update in between. The game also only accepts controller inputs
There, it should be
once
good
per
now.
visual frame, so these
We'll see how that
updates are
goes.
called
I think
input
it's okay
frames,
now.
whereas the hidden updates are called lag frames. As it turns out, visual updates and input polling are not the only things that are unique to input frames. There are several other calculations that are only run on those frames and skipped on lag frames. One of these is the lap time calculation. While the fact that the finish line was crossed is indeed measured on lag frames, the actual finish time is only calculated on the first input frame after the line was crossed. This is what causes the timer glitch. In his race, Inatenko crossed the finish line on the lag frame, but he was most likely holding A, so he immediately drove back across the line. On this input frame, he hasn't been dropped on the track yet, and on the next input frame, he's back across the line. Because he never was across the finish line on an input frame, his final time is not calculated. Now, as soon as the race is finished, the game takes control of the racer and drives along an automated path. So even if someone were to cross the line for one single lag frame, the game would still immediately take over and cross the line again. As soon as the kart is across the line during an input frame, the final time gets correctly calculated, no matter
After the
how
video
much
carder.
after the initial crossing.
After the video
But
card.
here, because of the kart's facing angle, despite the autopilot's best efforts, Inatenko drives off into the water and doesn't cross the line again. Lakitu picks him up from the water and places him back on land. but
Weatherton,
then,
you're
because
hiding
7
something.
seconds have passed, the
Weatherton's
game
hiding
transitions into
something.
the results screen.
Weatherton,
At this
you're
point,
hiding
the
something.
results screen takes the value of the timer, despite it never being
It's gonna be Moo
calculated
Farm shortcut, I
properly.
know it.
The race time is therefore 7 seconds too slow, and because no value
Weatherton.
is the lap time, it shows as
Weatherton.
0.00 seconds, regardless
Weatherton.
of how long the lap actually was. It even gets saved as the track's fastest lap record.
Weatherton, I
In
swear.
short, this glitch happens if and only if the kart crosses the finish line during a lag frame, then goes backwards and gets stuck there long enough that for 7 seconds after finishing the race, there's never an input frame where the kart is across the line. The final lap is displayed as 0 seconds, but this
I
is
get
in no way
debated.
a lap skip. You still have to complete that lap, but its time will be incorrectly displayed. While this glitch originally happened on the Royal Raceway, it's also possible
Yeah,
on
I've
other
seen
courses,
the DK one
including
there.
Sherbet Land and DK's Jungle Parkway. The idea is exactly the same here. The kart crosses the line between visual frames and crosses it right back, so the timer never stops. After 7 seconds have elapsed, the result screen takes over without calculating the finish time properly, resulting in a glitched lap time and an incorrect race time. The special properties of lag frames can also be useful in time trials.
Yep.
For example,
Here
the
we
save
go.
time in one of the most infamous shortcut levels. On a
Oh,
lap time
I
that
knew
was
this. This has
previously
been out
thought
for like
to
a
be
year.
Frapp Snowland. But the current fastest strategy in this level involves beginning a new lap out of bounds to be immediately
There's
placed
another
in
new
front of the
strat, isn't
finish
there?
line. How could it possibly get faster than that?
Yep.
Well, it's simple.
Oh boy.
Just like that.
Wait. Yo!
Observant
What?
viewers may have noticed that Lakitu places Toad a little closer to the finish line
What?
than before.
New
When you go
FSSC,
out
I
of
guess?
bounds,
Kinda?
Lakitu places you back on the track based on the path marker that you were last on. The current fastest strategy sets the final marker of the lap as the current marker before being the shortcut. The next marker is normally impossible to reach without triggering the next lap.
What?
However, while path markers are updated even during lag frames, a lap can only be started on an input frame. By crossing the finish line during a lag frame and curving back behind the line and off the track on the following input frame,
Oh my
Toad goes
god.
to lap 2 and back to lap 1, so lap 2 is technically never started. From there, upon executing the shortcut, Lakitu places you closer to the line and you can save a tenth of a second.
Yeah.
The distinction between
Here
input
we go.
frames and lag
Move
frames
farm
turns
shortcut.
out to have ramifications that run much deeper than was previously thought.
Oh my god.
It was already known that lag frames are
Move farm
fundamentally
shortcut.
different.
It's gotta happen.
After all, this
It's
is
gotta
the basis
happen.
of the half clip, allowing
It's gotta
for
happen.
extremely short laps on
It's gonna
major
happen,
raceway.
dude.
The game only checks if the kart is out of
Dude,
bounds
I'm
during
shaking
input
right now.
frames. If the kart rams into the wall and ends up on the other side for just one lag frame, the lap section is updated to further down the track, but the kart is not detected as out of bounds.
Screw you,
until the next
Weatherton, if this
input
isn't
frame.
Moo Farm shortcut.
However, on that next frame, the kart is already back in bounds.
Oh
and
my
completes the
god.
lap in 0.01
This is-
to 0.03 seconds.
This is crazy.
And this is where pausing comes into play.
But you're not allowed
The
to
new
pause.
discovery is that pausing causes an input frame to behave in some regards like a lag frame.
You're not allowed
The
to
game
pause
still
though.
visually updates inputs for input, but
That's the
out-of-bounds
thing.
detection and lap time calculations are not run on the frame the game is
Weatherton's got
paused.
me. Because
The
you're not allowed to
implications
pause.
of this are massive. If you pause the game on the right frame, you can be out of bounds without the game detecting that you are. But before everyone goes
I
crazy,
know what's gonna
let
happen.
me share the bad news. Once you unpause the game, there's one frame where you can't pause the game again, and on that frame you will be detected as being out of bounds. So effectively, instead of being able to spend one lag frame out of bounds undetected, you can now spend one lag frame, one paused input frame, and one additional lag frame out of bounds. That is at least until you plug in a second controller. As it
No!
turns out, one player can't pause the game on every frame, but two
No.
players can alternate their pauses,
Oh my
effectively
God.
pausing on every frame.
No way.
Using this method, it is in fact possible to spend every input frame paused and therefore delay the out-of-bounds detection indefinitely.
What?
That's right, you can drive out of bounds for as long as you want, so long as two players alternate to pause the game on every frame. This also allows for brand new shortcuts that spend a large amount of time out of bounds, which wouldn't be possible otherwise.
Oh my God.
For example, Fraps Snowland 3-lap in 11.79, or DK's Jungle Parkway Fast
Two-player,
Lap in
though.
1.58 seconds.
Two-player though.
While pausing to prevent out-of-bounds detection can be done in two-player mode,
Come on!
it's been shown to be of relatively little use in time trials, since
No!
it only adds a tiny bit of time out of bounds.
No.
But time trial ghosts have a little trick up their sleeves
Oh,
that's
boy.
been obscure knowledge for years.
Oh no.
The player's ghost is considered as a second player.
Oh?
Although the second controller isn't able to control the ghost in any way, for
Come
some
on,
reason
dude.
it can still be used to pause the game.
What?
Similarly, the third controller can be used to pause the game if a staff ghost is on the
A
track.
third
You
controller.
might see where I'm going here. Sadly, ghost data is incompatible with a few things in the game, including being picked up by Lakitu, collisions with objects, and also pausing.
Oh.
As soon as the game is paused, the race data can no longer be saved, and any ghost currently on the track disappears.
Oh.
As a
Okay.
result, the game can be paused on 2 consecutive frames once and only once, and only as the first pause in the run. When the game has been paused once, only the first player can pause from now on. Despite these restrictions, it is now technically possible to spend 5 consecutive physics updates out of bounds without being detected as such.
This is
if
Movie
the
Farm
ghost is on
shortcut.
the track.
100%.
What does that mean? The new improvement on the previously thought to be maxed Fraps Snowland shortcut, mere days after its discovery, is already outdated. 4.24 is nowhere near the fastest possible lap on this track.
Oh my God.
This is Fraps Snowland Fast Lap in 1.10 seconds.
What?
The best part about this shortcut strategy is that it's still nowhere near the fastest possible way to finish a lap. Don't believe me? How about 0.33 seconds? Hey, you want to know the best part about this lap? It's not even the fastest. Now, don't blink.
I give up. I give up. I give up. I give up. I give up.
Okay, this time this is the fastest lap on Fraps Nolan. But how is a 0.00 second lap possible without the timer glitch? Let's break it down frame by frame.
I can't,
This
dude.
will be demonstrated using a hack that displays lag frames, but lag frames will be black and white to tell them apart from input frames.
This isn't possible,
Here's
RTA,
an
because you
overhead
can't
view
pause
of the
during
area.
runs.
The finish line plane is the black line, and the colored zones are out of bounds. The minimum requirement for the
Yeah,
lap to count is
'cause
to
you
be in
can't
front of the
pause.
line in the red zone,
That's the
then
problem.
behind the line
This
in
is
the blue
useless.
zone, and in
It's
front of the line
cool.
in the red zone again. First, Toad drives into out of bounds, parallel to but ever so slightly behind the finish line. After one lag frame out of bounds, the ghost is used to pause on this frame. Then, on the next lag frame, Toad crosses the line, starting a new lap. Despite Toad being in lap 3 now, the game doesn't actually start the lap until the next input frame. On that frame, player 1 pauses the game this time. Toad is back behind the line, but he's now in the blue zone. So instead of going back to lap 2 and cancelling the start of lap 3, he makes forward progress and reaches the end of lap 3. On the next lag frame, he crosses the line into the red zone, finishing the race. Finally, the input frame after is when the race actually ends. Because Toad spends a single input frame in the lap, this should be saved as a 0.02 second lap. But if out of bounds detection was the only thing that pausing disabled,
Please.
this would be a boring video.
Please.
Like I said before,
Please
pausing
move
also
forward.
disables the lap time calculation
Please
that's only
move
run in
forward.
input frames. Here, because the game is paused during input frames, as the second lap is completed, the game is unable to calculate its time. And when it's finally able to do so,
This
the
won't
race
be
is already
allowed.
over. At this point, the third lap's finished data overwrites the second lap's, and so the second lap time is calculated using the third lap's finish, causing the game to add up both lap times as the second lap, and giving 0.0 seconds
so
for the
weird.
third lap. The real lap times here were 41.23 and 0.02, but it gets displayed as 41.25 and 0.
What?
Nonetheless, it is still possible to do a variant of this lap that does get saved as 0.01 seconds. Also, while this is the fastest possible single lap, the strategy used in the 1.10 lap would be faster for the full track. Let's go back to
1588?
Luigi Raceway, where we can improve the fast lap here as well.
No,
The current
it's
fastest known
maxed.
time is the 0.01 lap, so with a well-timed pause, this can be brought down to
Oh my
0.
god, dude.
But is it really a 0-second lap? No. The lap actually
This
lasted
can't be
0.01
allowed. What's gonna
seconds, but it
happen?
was incorrectly saved as 0.00. The pause simply forces 2 laps to end on the same input frame, which defaults the last one to 0 seconds as a result.
What is
And now,
this?
let's get crazy for a bit.
Oh my
Considering
god.
that lap times only get calculated on unpaused
MK64.
input
This is
frames,
the end
what
of
if we use 2
MK64.
players and play the whole race while pausing on every frame? You guessed it, 0.00 times.
Okay, this is like
You
useless
can
though.
do this on any track in the game, so long as the pauses are frame perfect throughout the whole
That's not
race.
possible, RTA though.
There's one more way pausing influences the
Moo
game.
Farm!
In
Come
my
on!
previous video, Moo Farm was left in a state where a
Yes!
shortcut
This
was
is it!
almost
This is it! This is it! This is it! This is it!
ultimately
This is
stunted
it!
by the
This is it!
Lakitu effect
This
being
is it!
slightly
This is
too
it!
short.
Come on.
The Lakitu effect is a period of roughly
Please.
1.6 seconds
Please,
or 50
Moo
input
Farm.
frames where Lakitu is still loaded after
Please.
dropping you on the track. During
Please!
that short time, he can't come pick you up again, so you can go out of bounds without being stopped. But
Please!
for some reason, pausing freezes Lakitu for 1 frame, causing him to stay loaded
Wait.
for 1/60th of a second longer. This is how the potency of pausing was discovered in the first place. Weatherton found out that pausing near the end of a shortcut attempt let him drive 1 more frame than if he didn't. When Forrest heard the news, he realized that pausing repeatedly could extend the effect even further.
Oh yes!
Therefore,
Launch to the other
one
side
could
like in
pause
GP
10,
mode.
even 20 times after being dropped by Lakitu and extend the grace period by almost half a second. This is enough to make a Moo Farm shortcut possible.
Yo!
However, this
we
shortcut
got it.
uses 2 mushrooms at minimum, and it requires wasting multiple seconds going out of bounds in the previous lap.
We got it.
As a result, and this is a first in Mario Kart 64
Moo Farm
history,
shortcut.
this shortcut is only useful for fast lap and cannot be used to save time in 3
Moo
lap
Farm
laps.
shortcut.
Also, the shortcut is theoretically possible the other way around, but again, because it requires 2 mushrooms, there just aren't enough mushrooms
We
in
need
Time
unban
Trials to make
pausing.
this a viable
Yeah.
strategy. Of course, as new strategies are developed, this could change in the next few months. Using 2 players, though, it's possible to get
What?
much crazier with the Moo Farm shortcuts. There, a 3-lap shortcut time would be possible. The Lakitu effect extension also has other uses, such as good old Frap Snowland. Now, I know what you're thinking. Frap Snowland is already dead. Well, the thing is, while the insane laps we just saw are technically possible, most of them are likely TAS only.
Yeah,
The
that's the
Lakitu
only
effect
thing.
extension could be used as a means to get a time faster than 4:33 without the incredibly precise frame-perfect driving the faster laps require.
Yeah.
For example, this 4.14 lap.
4.14. It just gets placed on the line. Oh my
Here,
god,
just
dude.
a few pauses extend the Lakitu effect enough to turn around in the out-of-bounds area without being stopped.
What?
There is one important caveat to these new discoveries that needs discussing. As of right now,
Here it
pausing
is.
the game during time trials has been banned since 2020. The reasoning is that pausing cannot be used to help set up a trick without losing in-game time. These new discoveries all involve pausing, and therefore, under the current ruling, would be disallowed for time trials competition. However, there's an interesting point to consider.
Kaiman.
While historically the only contentious uses for pausing were to help setting up something precise or to take a break mid-run, this is different. In the case of pausing to extend
Change the
Lakitu
rules.
effect or to prevent out-of-bounds detection, the act of pausing itself has a direct impact on the gameplay and its use requires extreme precision and skill. It's also only useful in very specific scenarios that are easily defined and recognizable. Of course, in the case of pausing to generate 0.00 second laps that aren't really 0 seconds, a much
It
different
is, Weatherton.
argument
For
can be
setting up the
made.
lap, you can't
In
pause.
that case, it was demonstrated using memory watch that the 0-second lap is purely a display
think.
error and the
I
actual
think.
lap
I
time
don't
is
know, though.
unaffected but
Correct me if I'm
unverifiable
wrong.
without access to the game's memory. I'm typically not one
I
to
will.
make judgment calls in my videos. The Mario Kart 64 community will deliberate on this new discovery, and aside from presenting the facts, I have no place in those discussions. As for tool-assisted runs of the game, pausing will be considered a valid option to enable shortcuts, and it will of course be kept at a strict minimum required to optimize gameplay. As always, I've left the most game-breaking thing for the end.
No boy.
The single biggest revolution in the game's history.
Here we go.
The most prestigious speedrunning category in the game, perhaps ever, is
There you
going
go,
to be
Weatherton.
forever changed. You guessed it, I'm talking about all trees.
All
All trees
trees.
consist of destroying every tree in the game using a star. A very simple premise, a very complex problem. Of the 338 trees in the game, only 307 of them are in bounds. So the category had to limit itself to those trees, leaving all the other ones intact. Not anymore.
Such a meme,
With
dude.
two-player pausing, it is now technically possible to destroy every single tree in the game with a star, no exceptions. This and only this is why pausing breaks Mario Kart 64.
Yo! Let's go, Weatherton and Forrest and Bismuth. You guys are insane. But how hard is this RTA? That's the problem. There's no way this you can like get those pauses. Weatherton's the man. You know what, Weatherton? Even though you never come to my chat, I'm VIPing you, and I'm VIPing Forrest. Even though I'm still gonna do it. You guys deserve it for all your work. Thank you guys for contributing to this community. You guys are awesome. Wear that badge of honor for the 2 times you'll come in.